Afternoon, Miss Bridgewater.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you are as well.
I am, thank you.
Good, good. When is the SAP reset date?
April the 2nd.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Let's see, courtroom two, I think we'll be ready to get going whenever you all are.
Joe, we got position 10. 3 South.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Peoples. Can we unmute Reese out there? Yes, and this is Mr. Peoples?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Peoples. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Peoples, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001289Y with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and given false information to law enforcement. Let's see, who do we have on from pretrial? Mr. Howard, you with me? Good afternoon.
Yeah. Hey, 42 total 2022 burglary first degree, 3 counts. Possession of tools for the commission of a crime. That's 23 SC 188195. On probation out of Taylor County, false imprisonment, possession of tools until 2026. 2012 burglary conviction, 07 burglary, theft by taking, theft by receiving conviction. That's it.
What's the recommendation?
If you give him a signature bond, it's level 3, but with the history, I'm not recommending it.
Okay. Afternoon, Mr. Walker.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was patrolling the area of 556 Northside Avenue, where they recognized the individual as a wanted suspect for a thief case or a theft case. When they approached the individual, he stated his name was Willie Walker. Obviously, that is not his real name, and as he was being detained, he resisted arrest. The state is asking for a $500 surety bond on each count. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while bond.
Afternoon, Mr. Ty.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client is 57 years old. He's lived in Georgia all his life. You can see on the booking sheet, the date of arrest was March 8th, 2024. So he's been in custody for 11 days now. This is a Riverside issue. For the record, my client does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant, but I am requesting a signature bond through the jail due to the Riverside issue. And nothing further.
Any response, Mr. Walker?
I have to check the booking screen, but I think he was wanted for multiple things. But if the court feels it's Riverside and wants to give a signature bond, let's add the
Yeah, the booking sheet had several charges on it, more than what he's appearing for today, but he hasn't had an appearance at all, and it's been 11 days. And I think, yeah.
As for these charges, it'll be a $500 signature bond through the jail on each count, makes it a total of $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Peoples. Who do we have next?
Got position 9, 3 South.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Madison. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Madison, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001288C with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
31 total. 2024 trespass, 2023 battery, 2019 battery, 2022 possession of drug-related objects. He had a robbery ag assault from 2021 that was dismissed. 2019 theft by receiving conviction. 2016 criminal damage to property. 2015 battery and ag assault on a peace officer. That's all.
Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. This defendant was arrested at the Chevron located at 160 Ponds. He had been previously criminally trespassed from this location. and he actually has an open case at this same location, I believe. The state, I'm sorry, excuse me. The state is asking for $1,000 surety bond.
Yes, Ms. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client appeared before you yesterday on a criminal trespass damage to property charge. You gave him a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services, I believe. And he was supposed to be released and now is here again today on a trespass charge. He is 34 years old. He's a Georgia resident. He does work with PAD. I confirmed with PAD yesterday that he can continue to work with them. He is residentially insecure. He spent another night in jail because this was not, he didn't appear on this warrant yesterday. I'm asking for a signature bond. Actually, I'm sorry. Yesterday he did get a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. And that was a criminal trespass damage to property. This is a criminal trespass. The warrant alleges that he was in the parking lot of the Chevron, Your Honor. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail and nothing further.
Of course, the social worker visit yesterday, Ms. Ty. Does he have some challenges with housing?
Yes, he does. And he's working with PAD, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to give him the same thing that I gave him yesterday. I don't know why it didn't come before me on yesterday, but it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail on this charge also, and continue working with PAD. And don't go back to that Chevron on Ponce de Leon Avenue, Mr. Madison, okay? All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Next, we have position number 5, Tony Blunt. You can not see it on YouTube.
Good afternoon, Ms. Blunt. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Blunt, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001279G with theft by taking. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, 2019 battery DV. That's open in DeKalb County. She got DeKalb County hold.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, what position is this?
5, Tony Blunt.
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the 12 hotel located at 400 West Peachtree. The defendant booked a room at that hotel using the Marriott points of the victim, whose name is Sanford Garfunkel. The 12 hotel reached out to the individual because it was a strange arrangement, or the way it was booked. He confirmed that he did not book this room and he did not know this individual. Police were called and they met with the defendant, and she stated that her friend, Mr. Garfunkel, booked the room for her. Police reached back out. He confirmed that he did not book a room for this individual. He was currently in Florida. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from the instant location. No contact with the victim, Mr. Garfunkel. No weapons or alcohol while out on bond.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cook. Any objection to any of that?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with Sanford Garfunkel. Stay away from the 12 hotel on 400 Peachtree, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Blunt.
Is that a level 1, Your Honor?
Yes, level 1.
Thank you.
And don't forget to report the pre-trial after your hold.
Next, we have position number 13, Tunstall Kristen.
Good afternoon, Ms. Turnstall. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, Judge. Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Turnstall, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001280Y with giving false information to law enforcement and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest, 2018 DUI. That's all.
Yeah, the brief facts of the case. Good afternoon. Brief facts of the case is that on March 18, 2024, the officer responded to 800 West Peachtree Northwest, which is the Scholar College of Business, in reference to a suspicious person inside. Upon arrival, radio advised the individual left the area going northbound on Spring Street. The officer made contact with the individual, who identified herself as Miss Denisha Martin, with a date of birth year of 2002. Upon further investigation, the individual handed the officer a paper copy of her license, which identified her as Kristen Turnstall. The record came back showing that the defendant had been given a criminal trespass warning from the same location, encompassing all of Georgia Tech's property, on January 22nd, 2024, which included a 2-year suspension, Your Honor, or a 2-year trespass warning. Given the nature of the charge, I guess she, refused. She got a warning as recently as January and still continues to return to the location. The recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away from that location, Your Honor.
So Ty,
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 29 years old. She has lived in Georgia for 6 years. She does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. Your Honor, she tells me that she has recently become homeless within the last year. And that's, of course, a challenge for her, but she has very little criminal history. I mean, 3 arrests. I believe one of them is for a criminal trespass. And then the other one that pretrial mentioned was a DUI from 6 years ago, Your Honor. She doesn't have a phone, and because she's just recently become homeless, hasn't figured out, how to receive mail. I try to help her as much as I could. And I did also I asked the state if they would accept her to PAD, due to her very limited criminal history, and I thought she would be a good candidate. PAD did say that they would work with her. I don't know how they work with, people who need help but aren't officially in the program, or I could also have a social worker reach out to her. She can't, I think it would be difficult for her to report through pretrial services. So I would ask for a signature bond through the jail, and nothing further, Your Honor.
okay. I would like for her to have a social worker visit to assist with housing. Otherwise, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from that 800 North Peachtree address, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. It'll be $1,000 for each count, so a total of $2,000. Okay. Ms. Turnstall, I would just advise you, I don't want them to have to put a warrant out for you at any point in time. So stay in touch with the court to the best of your ability so that you don't miss any court dates, okay? All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Next, we have position number 14, Ashiki Walters.
Good afternoon, Ms. Walters. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001281J with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, 2017 simple assault, disorderly conduct, dismissed. Jail was the recommendation.
Yeah, the brief facts of the case is that on March 10, 2024, the officer responded to an assaulted person incident located at 761 Sidney Marcus Boulevard Northeast. The victim stated that his ex-girlfriend assaulted him at the apartment complex at around where he lives. Mr. Davis, the defendant, Paul Davis, a traditional spelling, lives at 3699 Lenox Road Northeast. He stated that he arrived at the above location to get away from his girlfriend. The defendant and the victim advised that he and the defendant lived together for about 6 months before he cut out. The victim stated that during the incident, the defendant bit him on the arm. The officer was able to observe the bite mark on the victim's right forearm. The bite mark was red and it looked like it was bleeding. The victim also stated that the two share a 3-month-old son together. Our office was able to get in contact with the victim. He states that they are not in a relationship. They do not live together. They share the one child together. The victim confirmed that events in the warrant. He stated that he never wanted to press charges and that he only wanted to make a report. He states that there's been some violence in the past, but this is the first time the police has gotten involved. He states that they have had very limited communication since the incident. And I do believe that he is on the call. So if we could sound from Mr. Davis in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. Recommendation from the state, Your Honor, is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from the incident location, a no contact, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. Nothing further from the state.
What is the alleged victim's name, Mr. Pierre
Paul
Thomas?
Davis, Pauldavis.
If Mr.
Yes,
Davis
I'm here.
is okay, where are you, Mr. Davis?
I'm
Oh, there you go. All right.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Mr. Davis, if you'd like to speak with the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Okay, you can place your hands down. What would you like to tell the court?
Yeah, like he said, I just wanted to file a report. I didn't want to press charges against her because we do have a child together, and she is a good mom, so I didn't want her to. I didn't know she was going to get arrested. I just found it out yesterday. But yeah, the incident didn't happen at my apartment. She came to my apartment. We had a normal conversation. And then after that conversation, she basically attacked me, and I, defended myself. That was pretty much it.
Do you want to have contact with her going forward?
If I have contact, I'd rather for it to be either through somebody in her family I can meet with, so I could get my child, or at a police station or something, just temporarily until
Okay.
I
So
guess,
what I'm gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna order no contact, but I'm gonna have you all have third-party transfer of any minor children. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for being here, Mr. Davis. Yes, Ms.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes, my client is 30 years old, Your Honor, and she is the one who actually was defending herself. Mr. Davis had AK-47 gun to kill my client. Her nails broken. She has a bruises. She was hiding herself inside of his neighbor's place to survive, Your Honor. And when she came out of that scary, terrifying incident, she found out that when she called the police, that's when she found out that he called the police to make her arrested. And I'm very, very upset about this incident because she has a 3-month-old baby of his. Not only he abandoned her, he is accusing her for what? Fighting him? Your Honor, he had AK-47 gun to kill my client. We would like to request for signature on bond through jail. If possible, he has to go back to her son, who is only 3 months old. Her sister is having that son because she's here. She's breastfeeding, and yeah, that's what we need to have. She is graduated from high school, and she studied criminal justice for 1 year at Pennsylvania. She's been here 2 years. She's not a flight risk. Her sister is taking care of her son, and her sister has to go back to work. Otherwise, her sister's gonna lose a job.
That's my sister right there with my son.
Okay.
20 altars.
Okay, but anyway, Your Honor, we would like to request for signature on bond through jail, preferably. And she's the one I advise her to file for restraining order from him, who has been extremely abusive. And oh my goodness, when I was hearing her story, I cried for her.
Yeah, I need to say something then. Yeah, can I say
Okay,
something?
hold on, no, because this is only a bond hearing and you all can litigate this at another time, at another place, okay? So for both of you, that's, if there's nothing further, Mr. Pierre Thomas, it's gonna be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Paul Davis, third-party transfer of any of the minor child for visitation, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while you're out on bond. You're not to have any contact with Mr. Davis, and it doesn't appear that you want to, but no contact means absolutely no contact whatsoever. No, obviously no personal contact, no phone contact, no internet contact, no email contact. No contact means no contact between the two of you whatsoever. If you need to arrange something, you'll need to arrange it through a third party, okay? No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank
All
you.
right, good luck to you, Ms. Walters.
Thank you.
You can go to position number 4, Kevin Beatty.
Good afternoon, Mr. Beatty. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001276C with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
17 total. 2020 trespass, 2019 simple battery conviction, 2014 assault. That's it.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 760 Emily Place, where they met with the victim, Miss Mary Montgomery. She told officers that she went to her ex-boyfriend's place of residence to celebrate her late son's birthday. At the end of the evening, she attempted to leave. The defendant told her that she was not going to leave until she had sex with him. She did refuse. At that time, he did punch her in the face and also choked her. I believe she was able to escape and call the police. She was able to identify the defendant as the person who assaulted her. The state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. And we're going to ask for her to stay away from her residence, which is 1123 Cato Street. And of course, we would sign for the victim, Miss Mary Montgomery.
Ms. Montgomery is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, my client denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. His position is that she was the aggressor. We do not object to any of the conditions of the bond. But we would like to get an SOB through the whatever level the judge determines appropriate.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Montgomery. Stay away from the Cato Street address. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Beatty.
Next, we have position number 6, Robert Hughes.
Do we want to set this one for last, Your Honor?
Last.
Yes, can we save Mr. Hughes for last, please?
Yes, thank you.
In the third row.
Thorough Hughes.
We can move on to position number 7, Lindsay Theron.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lindsay. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon. Yes, no problem.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001286G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
18 total. 2022 battery DV, cruelty in the third. On probation for the battery DV out of DeKalb County. Wanted out of Marietta for aggravated assault. 2022 disorderly conduct no low. That's all.
In this case, Your Honor, law enforcement was, well, first let me say this is a dual arrest with position 16. I just want to make the court aware. But law enforcement was dispatched to 184 Willis Mill, where they met with both parties. They advised that they had been living at that location together for the past few months. They had been drinking that evening, and a physical altercation occurred. The officer could not identify who the aggressor was or who the primary aggressor was, so they both were arrested. Based on this defendant's history, we are asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim or the cross defendant, Ms. Talesia Woodard. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while bond.
Cook,
Your Honor, we have no objection to the conditions that stated. He does have a hold apparently in Cobb County, so we would like him to be able to get over there and settle that issue. We would be asking for signature only bond at level 3.
and so you've got no objection to the no further contact and the stay away?
No objection to that, Your Honor.
Okay. It'll be a $2,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Woodard, stay away from the incident location, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Lindsay.
Thank you.
We can go down the line to position 8, Leon Lott.
Okay, and I guess Ms. Woodard is an ACDC.
I'm not sure that's Mr. McLeod's client, I believe, so I'm not sure.
Right.
I think so.
Can I go ahead? Can we go ahead and I see her there. Can we go ahead and do her since we already?
We're gonna do.
Is that okay?
Is
Is anybody with me in ACDC?
It's not. Go ahead.
Yes. Can you unmute Officer Milton?
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Afternoon. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do Ms. Woodard. Good afternoon, Ms. Woodard. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Woodard, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001284G with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Fifth arrest, 2019 DWI conviction, 2015 assault dismissed, 2014 assault arrest.
So this was,
Anything? Okay.
The only thing
You
to
want to
add
add something to
facts-
the facts, Mr. Pierre Thomas?
Yeah, only thing to add to the facts is she's alleged to have hit him in the head with an unknown object and to have bit him on the neck, I believe. The recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a no contact. I do believe the stay away was placed on him, so it's not necessary here, and the completion of an anger awareness course.
Yes, Ms. McLeod. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. We have no objection to the signature bond, and my client would like to be able to go back to the location because she tells me that she still has her belongings there. So we're fine with the recommendation from the state.
It will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Lindsay, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Woodard.
Thank you. Your Honor, that concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. Thank you. So who do we have next?
Your Honor, on position number 4, on his 3 card, it has a charge for criminal trespassing, but it doesn't have the on the calendar, just the battery charge.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. I'll need a second.
Okay, can we go to someone else while Mr. Walker investigates that?
Position number 8, Leon Lott. Leon Lott.
Okay, and this is Mr. Lott here?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Lott. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Lott, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001287Y with theft by receiving stolen property and driving while your license is suspended or revoked. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
8 total. 2022 suspended license that's open. 0704 suspended license. He got a current bench one out of state court, I think. That's it.
In this case, Your Honor, law enforcement pulled the defendant over at 568 Chapel Road because they detected he was driving on a stolen license plate. When they made contact with the defendant, they asked him why he was driving with the stolen license plates, and he stated that he purchased the license plates from a drug dealer out of College Park because he had not had a chance to register his vehicle. It also was determined that his license was suspended. The state is asking for $1,000 surety bond on each count. Obviously, no driving without a valid license, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Do you know what the bench warrant's for, Mr. Walker?
No, but I could take a look at it, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. I was not aware that there was a bench warrant. I didn't see that in the pretrial report. My client is 58 years old. He has lived in Georgia for over 30 years. He is gainfully employed at Flagship Security, working as an armed security guard. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. From what I saw, he has very little criminal history. He has one misdemeanor conviction and he's 58 years old. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. And I would request that he is able to carry a weapon for his work only.
So, Your
And of
Honor,
course, I don't object to no driving without a valid license.
the bench warrant is for him having an FTA with Judge Edie for a plea and arraignment, July 19th of 2022. Looks like he was initially given a signature bond on that case.
Okay, Your Honor, I didn't see that case, but he was telling me that he was in touch with somebody from our office about the case, you know, when his trial was, and I think he didn't receive any notice, so I didn't see anything though.
And it looks like
Okay.
it's scheduled for March 26th on the SAP calendar. The bench warrant case.
Okay. So for this case, it'll be a $500 good bond on each charge, makes for a total of $1,000 good bond. No driving without a valid license. No drugs, alcohol, and he can only carry a weapon while on the job.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Good luck to you, Mr. Lott.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, was one of the theft by receiving charges NOD?
I only have one on my calendar. Do you have more than one?
On our booking sheet, he has two.
Is that the bench warrant case that's showing up? Because that's also a theft by receiving.
Well, there was
That's
one
not-
warrant.
It's 4 charges he has. One of them is a bench warrant, and then you have 2 theft by receivings and 1 driving while license is suspended. If we only put a bond on one of them, they still not gonna let them go.
Okay, so I need a second. And I'll look at that to see exactly what you're referring to.
Okay, so while Mr. Walker looks into those two cases that he now has to look into, can we go to the next person?
Sure.
Position number 11, Ty G. Robinson.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001277J with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest. 2023 Cobb County, entering auto, 4 counts. theft of lost and mislaid property, obstruction. He's on probation for all of that out of Cobb County until what, like 2029 or something like that.
That is correct. Your Honor, the brief facts of this case is that on March 18, 2024, the officers responded to a damage to property call at 3657 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Northwest. The officer met with the caller. Caller's name is Maheret, M-I-H-E-R-E-T, Damtu, D-A-M-T-E-W, who stated that the suspect came into the store attempting to purchase a Black and Mild. They told him that it was a $3 minimum to use the debit card machine, at which point he became irate and kicked the entry to the door, causing the door to damage on its frame or come off the hinges. The officer observed the front door or the front entry door off of its hinges. The officer made contact with the defendant, asked him why he kicked the door. The defendant stated that he was upset, and that caused him to kick the door. The officer attempted to detain the defendant, to which he snatched away and fled out of the front door. There was another officer outside. He continued to flee. I guess the whole situation required for the officers to make utilization of a taser. The recommendation from the state, Your Honor, at this point is a signature bond through the pretrial services, a no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away from that 3657 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, Northwest location, which is the Blimpie Express. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 18 years old. He is the father of one minor child. He is employed full-time at Checkers. He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. I don't have any objection to the signature bond through pretrial services, and a stay away from that incident location. But I would like to point out that my client does state that he was tased and, denies a lot of the allegations as stated in the warrant. Nothing further.
All right, it's gonna be $1,000 signature bond on each count, makes for a $2,000 signature bond. I'm just gonna send it through the jail. Stay away from the 3657 MLK Jr. Drive address and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. I'm gonna let you out, Mr. Robinson, but you're gonna have to make sure you come back for your next hearing date. Otherwise, they're gonna put a warrant out for you, okay?
When is my next hearing date?
You'll get notice of that, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, sir. The young lady that's on the Shun 2, ma'am, we're happy to have you here, but you're on camera, and I don't know if you're on camera, so everything that you're doing in your household there, we're able to see, and it's a little bit distracting, okay? So we're happy to have you, but if you can either go off camera or be still for me, okay? Thank you, ma'am.
Next is condition number 12, the query is rolling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rowland. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Rowland, you've been charged in case 24 CR 001278E with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Fourth adult arrest. On probation for armed robbery, 2 counts. Hijacking a motor vehicle, assault with a deadly weapon, 2 counts. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, 2 counts, and obstruction. 2023 probation violation. That's all.
Yeah, the facts of this case are a little cumbersome, but it's December 14, 2023, the officer responded to 3620 Creek View Circle in response to 2 domestic disputes involving a weapon. The victim advised that her brother, the defendant, came to the home with a gun and began pushing her in an attempt to get to her spouse. Spouse's name is Tavartris, Vatris Williams. Mr. Williams was sleeping in the room as the defendant attempted to enter the room. The victim advised that the defendant was trying to harm Mr. Williams, who which caused her to intervene. The victim intervened, which led to the defendant forcefully pushing her away, causing her to fall into several things in the room. The victim advised that after he pushed her down, he proceeded to hit Mr. Williams with the firearm and threatened to kill him. The victim advised that Mr. Williams was able to get up and flee from the defendant. The victim then advised that the defendant began chasing Mr. Williams around the home with the firearm while still threatening to kill Mr. Williams. The chase led to another physical altercation between the three parties, damaging nearby objects in the living room. The victim advised that Mr. Williams was able to exit the home and continued to flee from the defendant on foot. Due to the fact that Mr. Williams was not on scene at the time that the officer arrived, the officer was not able to get his side of the story, which brings us to a different crime here today, Your Honor. But I'd like to also note that there is an allegation that he had a firearm, that there was the presence of a firearm. We've already heard about his history. I do have the history as a first offender, but I did hear of a probation violation from pretrial. The recommendation from the state, Your Honor, and this is, of course, after we sound for the victim in this case, who is Z-A apostrophe A-S-I-A, Roland, same spelling as the defendant. The recommendation is a $10,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from the incident location, which is at 3620 Creekview Circle in South Fulton and Fulton County, Georgia location, no contact with Miss Rowland, and the completion of an anger awareness course, Your Honor. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
So he has no charges as it relates to Mr. Williams. He only has a pushing charge related to Miss Rowland.
Not on this calendar, Your Honor, but our office is seeking to have it escalated to the DA's office for the felony, Your Honor.
Okay, so but the only thing that I'm hearing today is about this
Is a simple battery.
Miss Rowland.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see if Miss Rowland is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Atai?
Yes, Your Honor. I was able to speak with the complaining witness. She stated that she would be on the call. This is her brother, and she told me that, and my client also told me that the warrant is not accurate, that there was. Oh, okay.
All right, so Ms. Williams, if you'd like to address the court, I'll need for you to activate your camera for me. I'm gonna have to swear you in.
Okay, I'm trying to now. Oh.
Okay. All right, yes, can you raise your right hand for me?
Oh, this.
Okay, do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down and lower the camera so I can see your face, okay? There you go. Thank you. What would you like to tell the court?
It was a disagreement. He didn't have a gun on him.
Okay, anything else?
No, it's just a disagreement. We had a big disagreement, but I didn't tell the officer about that he had a gun. He didn't have a gun on.
Has this ever happened
But I
before?
wanted the charges dropped.
Okay, has this ever happened before?
No,
Are you afraid of him?
no.
Okay. Anything further, Ms. Williams? Further?
No, it's rolling.
Your last, oh, I'm sorry, your last name, yes, Ms. Rowland, I apologize. Yes, Ms. Atai.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 23 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He is the father of 3 minor children, 7 years old, 5, and a 2-month-old. He is gainfully employed at InstaShine Auto Spa to support his family. I understand there is criminal history, but it's from 2017, over 7 years ago, and he was 17 years old at the time. He does firmly deny the allegations here, which allegedly occurred December of last year. I would ask for, and again, here he's only charged with a simple battery. The warrant states that there are no other victims. The complaining witness has stated there was no weapon present. So I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. He was arrested March 15th. Of course, I'm not claiming a Riverside issue, but he's been in custody for since the 15th for a traffic stop, and then was transferred here yesterday to Rice Street. Nothing further. And I would object to a stay away from the incident location. I've spoken with the complaining witness. She's not afraid of him, and a no further contact. I would ask for no violent contact, no stay away, and a signature bond through the jail. Nothing further.
It'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with Ms. Rowland, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Rowland. You also, Ms. Rowland.
Next, we have position number 17. Zachary Downs.
Okay, you have any updates for us, Mr. Walker?
I do. So position 4 is correct. He has a bench warrant. That's the extra criminal trespass charge. And then Leon Lott, I don't know who booked him into the jail, but not only did they book him in on the bench warrant that was outstanding, they booked him in on the original warrant that was associated with that case. So they booked him in on an old warrant from 2020, which there's nothing I can do on my end. That's an intake error. So they booked him in on the original warrant from the 2020 case, and they also booked him in on the FTA from that 2020 case. So they booked him in twice on the same case, if that makes sense.
Okay,
Well,
tell me who you're talking about again.
Leon Lott.
Okay, did y'all get that on Mr.?
I'm sorry, but if there's any confusion with the jail, if they haven't booked in on the warrant, and I saw it was from 2020, I assume that would be NOD due to the statute of limitations, but
Yeah,
in that case,
the case is already accused.
I know, but if there's a miscommunication with the jail, they
Not
won't.
an NOD. If I can speak, it's not an NOD. They just need to take it off of his booking screen because it's
How
it's
can
a
we get them
valid
to do that?
warrant. They just booked him in on it again, so I can't NOD the warrant because it's
I understand.
associated with an active case. They just need to remove it from his booking screen. That's all.
But how will they do that?
The same way they put it on there, they can take it off. Or you can ask.
Hey, Mr. Walker.
Yes, sir.
Records is actually here in the courtroom. They're saying it's 2 different warrant numbers.
No, it's not. If you look at it, it's the same. It's the warrant number that ends in.
You got 60,
Hold on.
90, and 91.
Give me 1 second. They're both from February the 11th of 2020. And I checked, and it's the same one from his 2020 case. It's the same exact warrant. If you go back and look at the original booking from 2020, that's the same exact warrant.
They're 2 different.
They're 2 different warrants. I'm looking at it right now. One is for theft by receiving stolen property. The other one is for driving while license is suspended.
And what the driving with license suspended, what date is that?
3/18/24.
Correct. That's the case from today. There's two theft by receiving stolen property. And I'm telling you that second theft by receiving stolen property from 2020, that is the underlying warrant from his 2020 case that he FTA'd on. So you guys booked him in on that 2020 warrant and on the bench warrant from that case. The 3/18 warrant is from his present case that he just got picked up on yesterday.
You heard that?
So if you go back and look at his original booking from 2020, that's that same warrant that's back on his yellow screen from today. It should just be the FTA that's on there.
Gotcha.
Does that make, I know it's kind of confused, but does that make sense?
So intake has to remove it. I got you.
So
And then position 4, he does have a second hold, but that's just, he has a bench warrant because he FTA.
I see that that's a bench warrant.
Yeah. But Leon Lott does need to be corrected. It just needs to be one, not both of them, because he does have an FTA on that case. But the one that says theft by receiving it is just a warrant from 2020, that does need to be removed.
Gotcha.
All right, you got what you need, Norris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta go take care of business.
All right, thank you. So who do I have?
Position 17, Zachary
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Downs. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, and I'm John.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 001285F with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
7 total. You got an open DUI, 2022 suspended license, 2021 battery trespass conviction, another 2021 arrest for battery DV conviction. Last arrest was on March 16th for the DUI.
You got a brief facts of this case is that it appears like September 2nd, 2023, the officer was, I guess, patrolling at the Dylan 610 Renaissance Parkway, Fairburn, Georgia, apartment location, which is apparently owned by Alpha Management Partners. He was flagged down by a resident and escorted to her residence, where she stated she observed a large amount of what appeared to be blood and heard a male yelling. And I guess he was yelling that he was going to jump as well. Further investigation led the officer to an apartment, looks like apartment door, which is apartment door 4201, where they observed a shirtless black male with black shorts and no shoes, and I guess a bunch of what appeared to be blood on a wall, in addition to holes in a wall outside of the apartment in a stairwell. They were able to get in contact with a individual by the name of, by the name of Bria Dallas, who stated that she was friends with the defendant. The defendant, I guess at that point that day, was at the pool with her children and drinking vodka. She stated that her daughter texted her and stated that the defendant was acting weird. And so she went to the pool and told the defendant to get out of the pool. She advised that he did not want to get out of the pool. So her daughter and the friends left and went back into the residence. She advised that she took the bottle of vodka from the defendant, the bottle of vodka that the defendant was drinking, and poured it out inside of the residence. She stated that she took the defendant's bags and placed them outside the front door because she did not want him inside the residence since he was intoxicated. She stated that he began banging on the door and the walls, which leads us to the damage here today, Your Honor. The recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from that incident location, which is the 610 Renaissance Parkway, Fairburn, Georgia location. If we could have a no further contact with Bria Dallas, that'd be greatly appreciated. And if we could request that the defendant submit to a alcohol and drug evaluation and treatment, as he was just recently arrested for a DUI out of Noonan. And I guess the facts of this case, nothing further to add from the state at this time.
Bria Dallas is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, my client is, Mr. Zachary is 24 years old, Your Honor, and I believe this happened in 2023, more than 6 months ago. Miss Bria and my client are still engaged, and she is actually expecting a baby within, like, it could be now or it could be tomorrow, no later than 2 or 3 days. Probably this Friday before that. So he wants to get out of the jail to meet his new twins. He's very eager. He took care of DUI. And he is also Here's another warrant at Douglas County, so he will be transferred to that location. He's not going anywhere, Your Honor. We would like to request for signature on bond through jail and no further violent contact.
Sent to the hold, $1,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Ms. Dallas, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Looks like you got good luck with your children. You've got a lot of responsibility that's going to be on your hands, Mr. Zachary Downs. I hope that you take this opportunity to get yourself on the right path. Good luck to you, sir.
I do appreciate it, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. What are we doing?
Who do we have next?
Oh, yeah. Your Honor, can we please clarify about another, they have a same last name, but Stephen, I don't know if Mr. ASGE received an email about my client from Michael Jordan about it. Are we gonna be NOD?
What position are we talking about, Ms. Kill?
There's no,
He's not a position on the calendar.
Was he on the pool sheet?
he was not on the pool sheet. He should be because he was booked in on March 16th and he had a felony appearance this morning, I guess. And Michael Jordan wanted to make sure that the ticket that he has, a citation for his failure to maintain the lane, would not hold him at the jail because that's what's going on right now. His parents took care of the bond, but he cannot be released because of this one citation.
Okay, you said it's in my email?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay,
So
give me.
NOD will be the best.
Okay, I'll check my email and I'll report back as soon as I have an answer, okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So who do we have next?
We could do the wave positions. That'll be positions 1, 2, and 3.
What about 8 positions? We have a 1 female over there. Oh, yeah, we have one more person at ACDC. Her name is Diza Oud, position number 4. Yes, WOOD. Oh, her bond was paid? Okay. Thank you. Position 15.
And position 15, bond was paid. So
Okay.
1 through 3 waived their appearance, and it's the same person.
Okay, so this is Gregory Adams, who's charged in position 1, 24 CR 001254J with criminal trespass. Position 2, 24 CR 001256J with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. And position 3, 24 CR 001262J with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
13 total. 2023 trespass. 2018 battery conviction. A trespass arrest. Well, he got arrested 3 times in 2018 for trespass. 2 of them were convictions. That's all.
Pierre Thomas?
Yes, brief facts of the case. I think something's missing from the calendar, if I'm not mistaken.
What do you mean?
It appears that he should have two criminal trespass charges. Is it jumbled up in one? I think
He's got a criminal trespass on position 1
Oh,
and
I
a criminal
see.
trespass on position 3.
I see it. I was missing it off the calendar. My calendar was cut off for whatever reason. As it relates to position number 1, Your Honor, the criminal trespass, the facts of that case is that on December 19, 2023, the defendant was captured on the victim's Vivint home security camera. The defendant walked through the victim's front yard and onto the porch with a shovel. He knocked on the door several times, 7 to be specific, and stated that he wanted his money. The defendant was given a criminal trespass warning by the victim, Moutushi, last name Majid, from the incident location in the presence of Officer St. Croix, on, looks like October 13, 2023. Our office was able to get in contact with the victim in that case. He states that they are neighbors. They live across the street. They live across the street from one another. The victim stated that she does not, or it's a she does not know the defendant personally. She stated that she has had to call the police numerous times about the defendant coming onto her property and banging on the door. She stated that she works from home and the defendant constantly interrupts her meetings. She stated the defendant has also shown up to her home with a chainsaw. She stated that the defendant has shown up to her home as recently as March 8th and damaged some lights. She also stated that she and other people in the residence are afraid of the defendant. She stated that she wants no contact with the defendant and she wants him to stay away from her residence. I do not believe she is on the call, but if we can sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law still, that we greatly appreciate it, Your Honor. The recommendation as it relates to this case from the state is a $500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from that incident location, and a no contact with the victim. Do you want me to continue on or?
Yes, do all three of them.
Okay, Your Honor. As it relates to the next case, Your Honor, that is the facts of that case is that Officer Woodley had probable cause and identified the defendant due to him being a suspect in a trespassing incident. Officer Woodley's suspicion of Mr. Adams was involved further, which arose Officer Woodley to observe because he observed the defendant walk onto the neighbors in the neighborhood into multiple houses in the neighborhood in the area. The officer attempted to stop the defendant, the defendant stated to the officer, "Shoot me," and continued to walk away from the officer. Once the officer was able to detain the defendant refused to answer when questioned about what his name was. The recommendation in that case, Your Honor, is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away from the area, Your Honor. The next case and final case, Your Honor, the facts of that case is that the defendant threw a full bottle of alcohol towards the officer and resisted law enforcement officers while lawfully engaged in their duties by refusing to put his hands in handcuffs and refusing to provide identifying information. As it relates to the criminal trespass, Your Honor, our office was able to speak with the victim in this case. The victim in that case is Jasmine Theed, Jasmine, Theed, or Third spelled Theard, who advised that the defendant and the victim are neighbors. She stated that the defendant, again, like the other case, continues to come onto the property, hanging out. She stated that the defendant sits on her porch and back deck while she is not at home, leaving trash. She stated that a few days before the incident, the defendant took a package from her home. The victim stated that she does not know the defendant and does not want him to return to her property. She is unfortunately unable to attend Zoom, but if we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. The incident location for that is 2457 Wood Valley Drive, East Point, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia. Recommendation from the state is a $500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a stay away from that incident location, and no contact with Ms. Deed, and the completion of an MHET, Your Honor. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
If Ms. Majid or Ms. Theed is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Yes, Mr. Cook.
Your Honor, we have no objection to the conditions placed on any of the bonds. However, he would not even be able to afford a $500 surety bond, so that's essentially a no bond. We would be asking for a signature only bond. At the end of the day, I heard the the story as related, but at the end of the day, it's trespass and the obstruction. We would ask for in all cases a signature only bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
Okay. For each charge in each case, it's going to be a $250 good bond. For position one, he's to stay away from Ms. Majid, no further contact with Ms. Majid, and stay away from the incident location. No drugs, alcohol, weapons for all three positions. Position 3, he's to stay away from the incident location and no further contact with Miss Jasmine Theed. So it's a total of $1,000 good bond, and he'll be on the SAP calendar if he doesn't get out on April 2nd.
Thank you.
And I believe that only leaves us with
6.
thank you. Did you have an announcement, Mr. Walker? Were you able to look into what Mr.
Yeah,
Cook?
so I was gonna tell Miss Kim if she prepares a consent bond, I'm fine with that.
Okay,
It wasn't on the pull sheet for whatever reason, but if you do a consent bond and just put the citation number or the booking number,
sure.
I think they can take care of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for bringing it to my attention.
You.
All right, so Mr. Hughes, whenever we're ready for Mr. Hughes.
Your Honor, we have to empty the courtroom and we would ask that the public feed the shut down this one.
Just watching the live stream, Your Honor.
Okay.